Okay, and this is another step in creating your sock monkey. Once you have all your pieces together, and let me go over this again to show you what I did. This was just one sock. Well, this was one sock. And what I did, let me lay this down so you can see it. I basically stitched up along one side of a sock, stitched over a little bit, and then stitched down. So these will be your legs, and that's going to be your little sock monkey's butt. Okay, turn it over and show you what else I did. Oh, and then I find it's easier to go ahead and do the stitching and then just cut up the center seam. And then where I know where I want the head and the eyes to be, so I just cut an opening, because you need to turn it inside out so that you can start stuffing the body. And then this opening, we're going to close this up and put the mouth part over that. Okay, now as you can see, I've stuffed the sock monkey pretty full. And this was that opening. And I'm going to just stitch this shut. And because it's a sock and it's that stretchy material, it has lots of give to it. Now, I found that I like doing mine this way. I'm sure there are certainly other videos and things out there on the internet, other ways of doing it. Ultimately, I say you just got to do what works best for you. This way, this seam right here is where the mouth is going to be. So that way you don't see the opening where you had to stuff your sock monkey doll. And I call these are really sock chimpanzees, because from how I cut it, I don't seem to end up with a tail for my sock monkey, which I guess is okay. And I'm not the world's perfect stitcher here, but I just keep stitching until I get it stitched shut. And let's see. Now it might look pretty jaggedy right now, but if you've seen the finished product that I showed you, you'll see it comes out really nice and neat. Oops, I went a little too short here. Let me just cut this. I'll just tie that off. And then this is where you're going to put the mouth. Okay, so once you've got that opening all stitched up, you're going to take off, and this is the tip part of the sock that you cut. And you're going to kind of make sure you want to stretch it from seam to seam, and that's where you're going to put the mouth. Okay, so you just want to stitch the lip, the mouth part onto your sock monkey doll. Okay, and see how it'll flap over. Then take your stuffing, and you're just gonna fill that opening up. You might want to use some pins to kind of hold it in place. And then you're just going to stitch all the way around so it'll have that monkey mouth. As you can see, what I do, I just pull this lip over and catch my seam here and just stitch it closed all the way around. And you might want to use the same color thread so it doesn't show. But I'm just doing this a little too quickly here. And it's okay if you have a little bit of the frill sticking up, because that'll look pretty groovy too. So you're just going to stitch all the way around. And then when you get to the end, stop and take a look at it and make sure it's where you want it to be. And I've kind of learned a little something from doing this, is that if you just kind of rub it a little bit, you can get the stuffing to kind of mold to the shape that you want. So I think that's pretty full. So we're gonna kind of close this stitch up here. And I use upholstery weight thread when I'm doing these soft sculptures, so that it doesn't come undone. Okay, so I'm gonna just cut right there. Okay, it's starting to take shape. This will be your mouth. Now mine's looking a little raggedy because once again I'm rushing and I really shouldn't, but as you can see, it's taking shape. Okay, now you take the two pieces that you cut out and stitched as arms and you stuff them. This one's still open and this one I've sealed shut. I've just stitched it shut. And let me get my needle here. And then you just get your doll body. And see, it's so magical how they take shape. Let's see, that would be the mouth, and I still got to glue that on. And these would be the eyes. Ah, look at there, it's looking at you. And now you're going to attach some arms. For me, it's a little easier to kind of put the face in place and then determine where I'm going to put my arms. I'll just take this off for right now. And since I stitched this closed, the arm, remember, stuff and stitch, gonna just tighten that. And now I'm gonna start stitching it underneath, so when the arm flaps over, you won't really see the seam or anything. And these probably take about maybe less than an hour to make. And so I stitched all the way across, and now I'm just gonna stitch it back to it. Because if these are something you're gonna make for a young child, you really want to double and sometimes even triple stitch to make sure that when, you know, if they're playing with it and having tug of war with it, with their sister or the dog, the arms won't snap off. So I'm just gonna make sure this is really in good. And the one thing about using this fuzzy yarn, it hides all those little imperfections, that the little, so where it's rough around the edges. So I'm just tightening this, and we'll give it a couple more good stitches here. And this is once again, this is an embroidery needle. It's not that sharp, but it'll go through this type of material. And as you manipulate the stuffing, you can get the arm to lie flat, not straight up and down. Unless, of course, that's how you want it. So we'll just snip there. Now we got one arm. Okay, we're going to finish the other arm, and then I'll show you how to do the ears. Okay, see? And we've got the ear attached. And remember that half moon circle that you cut out? You basically stuff it and, you know, just make it form the ear shape. And I start by running the needle and thread through it. And because this yarn tends to be pretty loose, the thread might pull right out, but I make it go through and just kind of catch it. Now, once again, you may very well have your own way of doing this, and that's fine. If it works for you, roll with it. Okay, so now I've kind of I have closed that opening up, and it has an ear, and this edge is where we're gonna put the other ear. And I just start stitching it into that spot. And just keep going until you, I'm just stitching it all the way down into there. And then just gonna attach it here again. And considering how inexpensive these socks are, and I don't have a set pattern for this. It's a wee bit of trial and error, but you'll get the hang of it, and you too will soon, in no time, be making super cute sock dolls. Oh, my thread got tangled here. I hate when that happens, but just pick it back out. Of course, I can't do this now while I'm on camera. Anywho, I will tuck that under in a minute. So, just go front to back. Oops. Just stitch it on front to back, over and under. Just keep stitching it until you make sure this ear is securely attached, as with all your other sock monkey body parts. Want to make sure they're really attached, so when little kids play with them, they don't come apart or tear up. And once again, you're using very relatively safe materials. Nothing that can stick or poke. And there's your other ear. It's that easy. Okay. And once you've kind of got the ears, that's pretty much all there is. Now, if you want to do a sock monkey doll with a tail, just make sure you save some of your sock fabric so you can cut it into a tail. And I'm going to probably glue these eyes down. Just kind of put them where you want them. And a smile. And we're almost ready to go. All we have to do now is just add a little tutu or dress. And it's that quick and easy on how to make your very own sock monkey. Enjoy. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.